B-Bad and Brandon.
And go. Mr. Nick Caldwell, mate. Appreciate you finding some time to come on the platform podcast with us, brother. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Yeah, pleasure to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, man. I've followed you yourself and your gym over there in Perth for quite a while, and I did even have some loose goals of trying to get over there and find out what I was worth in one of your tests, but you guys have got a wall up higher than anything over in Perth that won't let us come and play, but it's on the cards.
It's about 10 times harder to get over here, but not impossible.
Yeah,
find a way.
that might be stage one of the course, right?
We're thinking about incorporating it, yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Mate, it's a very unofficial podcast, but we do kick with one question, and that one question is 21 sounds or words to let the world know who you are and what you do, and I will loosely count them to keep you accountable to that 21. Ready, set, and go.
Okay, accountable, responsible, contribution, effort, perseverance, hardworking, honesty, humility, constant or relentless pursuit of excellence, sense of family, humour. What else we got? We got time, endurance, strength, moral courage, character. What else we got? Innate intelligence.
Here we go. 5 to go.
5 to go. Right. We go. Let me think about this. Weight, lucking, swimming, running, fighting, climbing, carrying.
Done. I think we got there within 25.5 words. And we missed out on one of the many important things or cool things I think you do and have done before, bro, is that little logo sitting on that shirt of yours, co-owner of the mill. For those who don't know much about it, bro, could you give us a bit of a story on that place?
Yeah, okay. Well, the mill is a gym, basically. But we started this gym. We started this gym in 2008.
Yep.
And the gym was started by 100% ex-special air service personnel or current serving.
Yep.
When I started the gym, or when I was part of the foundation of the gym, I was still serving in the unit.
Yep.
And at this point in time, we have 2 of our owners still serving in the unit.
Yep.
The remainder of us are out doing our thing.
Yep.
So it was the first thing I did when I left the army, when I left the unit, was to try to start a place which is founded on the same principles that the regiment was, and that is that we have a minimum standard. There are always standards, and we live and die by the standard. And the standard doesn't change just because life or the world changes.
Yep.
So we basically live the ethos that we still have. We've got the same ethos as the unit.
Yep.
And we've been trying to spread the word about the benefits of living, breathing, and training this way since 2008.
Mate, it's incredible. And that gym of yours, it's open for anyone to train at, if I'm right.
It is, yeah. So the only thing we ask is to pass our minimum standards of getting in.
Yep.
And then you train, because it's not because we are elitist. It's mainly because the amount of training or the style or the programming that we have, the volume is high.
Yep.
So our very basic level for our programming, to ask someone who is not conditioned to this amount of volume, is going to set them up for failure.
Yeah, 100%.
So we understand that the world, there's always standards, and we came from an environment where the standard was set at a certain level, and above that level, then we can work with that candidate to take them to the next level. That's essentially the same philosophy that we have at the gym.
Mate, that's incredible. I think, and it attracts the right people you want for your space as well, but it's something I've never heard of in the gym game, to say, well, this is the minimum entry to be looked at to come and train in this gym.
It's the worst commercial model in the world. You got to really, really stick by your guns to make this model work, because it takes a while for the word to spread. Once you've got that amount of momentum where enough people have heard about it, then you can put food on the table effectively. So we did a lot of hard yards in the first 5 years of this place until the word got out, and then we spoke to enough people who understood what we were trying to put down.
Yep.
And over the time, we've managed to attract enough people to keep this place, going for 14 years.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think, like you said, it's a pretty brave decision to try and make a commercial space like that viable with such strong rules like that. But I mean, it's your business and your space, so you love being there. Like that, was it at any point in time were you questioning your idea to do that, or was it always this is what it's going to be?
Well, we knew what we set out. Basically, we're doing what we said we would do. So if we said we're going
Yep.
to do something, people who are attracted to that methodology will come.
Yep.
It
Yep.
took a little while, but at the same time, we couldn't afford to change change from what we said we would do, because
Yep.
the people who
Yep.
understood that and what that means, meaning what you say what you mean, and do what you say you'll do,
Yep.
is the people that we want to attract.
Yep.
And so we've been very, very fortunate. We capped our membership at 100, and we've been at
Yep.
100 since about 2014.
So now they've
It
got a
did
wait
take
list
quite
as
a
well.
while. What's that?
Now you got a wait list as well.
we do have a wait list. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
unreal.
it's 100 because that's effectively as many as we can manage to the
Yep.
standard that we've set ourselves.
Yep. Yep.
So we don't focus. Our focus is really on what the gym can do for you, not what you can do for the gym effectively.
Yep. Yep.
So with that process, thought process in mind, we get people from all walks of life coming in.
Yep.
But we do have a majority of people who are training coming to train are training for either special forces selection or
Yep.
to join the military or join the police force emergency services.
Yep.
And we have a crew who are just from the local area who we live in an area where it's quite affluent, but they also
Yep.
have a lot of hard-working people who have responsibilities, directors, also family, husbands and wives, all that sort of thing
Yep.
as well. But we also have
Yep.
CEOs and so forth as well.
Yep. Mate, that's quite an interesting mix, having such a diverse group. How do they all go getting along with each other? They're all pushing each other along, I guess. Part of that selection
Yes,
process
right.
you have only has the right people in there.
Yeah, mate, it's great culture. I think
Yeah.
that the fact that they knew they all had to earn their place here, and they still have
Yep.
to earn their place every day. They are retested every year. So
Yep.
even the trainers, I'm retested every year. All the guys are retested to maintain their
Yep.
place. So effectively, we have that thought process where everyone thinks the same about training. Everyone approaches training in the same way,
Yep.
and they see this, and they're using training to leverage to make them be better people, live better lives, do better jobs, all that sort of thing.
Yep.
So that culture is it's priceless. Like it's the reason why we still fight for this place. Despite COVID, despite everything that's been going on, we still have a very, very strong culture.
Yep. Yeah, I think I've got a small gym myself in Brisbane, and that's the one thing we sit back and we always very protective of is our culture at that gym. And we run not a process like where there's a minimum standard to walk in the door, but I run an unbeknown interview process for the member that's coming into the gym where they get 2 weeks for free, but I'm working out whether I want you or not.
Well, it's a critical process.
Yep.
You've got to enjoy where you work, and you've got to enjoy the people that work with you, and
Yep.
that's effectively it. There's no point. You can't pander to everyone at the same time, and
Yep.
we're in such a society where there's gyms everywhere, like gyms pretty much in every street corner. So there's plenty of opportunity and plenty of options for people. If the fit's not right, then it's a mutual decision.
Yeah. There should be the right place for you down the road, and everyone's happy.
Absolutely.
Now, I've done a little bit of reading about your gym with the training for the Special Forces guys. You've got a pretty strong success rate with the guys completing your courses, going on to complete the Special Forces courses. Is that right?
Yeah. No, we've been very fortunate. I mean, we spent a lot of time, 14 years developing the process, but prior to that, 12 years in the Army for me.
Yep.
If you look at the collective amount of experience amongst the owners here, there's about 7 years of Special Forces specific experience.
Damn.
If you look at that, and the ability to take those lessons and quantify, articulate what the lessons are, quantify the weight, triage, what's important, what's not, then apply it to these candidates who are super willing, who are super keen, and they have the right reason, they understand why they're doing it, they have the right reasons for doing it. And it's very easy for us. We just apply the process. The process is well trodden at this point in time, to this point in time. So we're very, very fortunate to have a very high success rate.
Yep.
But the other thing is that we also make it very evident to anyone who comes to us, whether we think they will pass or not,
Yeah,
whether
right.
we think they're worthy of continuing training,
Yep.
or if we think that they might be better off spent doing something else. So we
Yep.
have to do that, because otherwise we're leading people on, and it
Yep.
rubs off on our success rate. We
Yep.
don't want to set people up for failure either.
Yeah, I guess whilst I'm sure that's not an easy conversation to have with people, in the long run, you're doing the right thing for them, right?
Absolutely, that's the way we see it.
Yep.
That's the way we see it. It takes a lot of time and effort
Yep.
to get on these courses and to pass these courses, and it's
Yep.
about 100% really.
Yep.
Anything less than that, you're committing a lot of your energy to that career
Yep.
in the hope that you're going to pass.
Yep.
And if you look at the pass rates over the history of the last 60 years of Special Forces selection in Australia, it's a very low pass rate. So you could spend a lot of time wasting time if you had someone already tell you from the start you don't have much of a chance, or you have a very good chance.
Yep. And then when you do that, do you try and help them with a new direction for themselves as well? If you see something you think that might fit them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a vast array of things that they can do.
Yep.
Even if it's just to join the army, not necessarily special forces.
Yep.
So we help them along the emergency services, police, fire emergency services, and also the military route. We give them some counselling in that direction, or more like mentoring in that direction.
Yep.
But outside of that, we have such a good network here in the gym that usually it becomes like a recruiting agency. People looking for people, we just do a job. So it's such a great.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have such a high performing group of people there. It'd be just like, oh, Billy needs a job. Okay, sweet. There'll be 3 people in that gym that need to hire him, no doubt.
Yeah. And then right now it's pretty hard to find good people. So we're happy to recommend good people.
100%. And when you open the gym, because I know you do some courses that anyone, like I was talking about at the start, anyone can do from anywhere and apply and come through and do it. Was that something you'd always wanted to cater to as well for normal humans running around out in the world?
Yeah, well, we basically originally set it up to prepare the next line of operators to be better operators than we were.
Yep.
So if we were to wind back to the time when I first thought about joining Special Forces, at that point in time, I wish I'd had a mentor who would make the process from where I was then to where I am now a lot clearer and a lot more direct.
Yep.
So, I mean, there wasn't enough information. When I came through, there's no internet. So finding the information was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So now we have the ability to, with podcasts and with websites and all that sort of thing, social media, we have the ability to let people know that, okay, there's a more direct route, or potentially there's a better way of going about this, and we'll help you along that track, because if it's the nation's capability, that's always primary in our mind. It's the ability to provide the next line of operators who are better than we were. Because you don't know what's going to happen next in the world. So as we're still contributing or still attempting to contribute to this nation's interests, even though we're a small warehouse gym in the back blocks of Perth.
Was it?
So that was why we set out. That's why we set the gym up in the first place. And it just happens to be people who get that, even if they're not trying to get in special forces, they like that methodology. They like to train that way. And then we look at it that way. Well, we're here to prepare people to be ready. Ready at any time for whatever it is, to be the biggest contributor in the room, to be able to take on more responsibility, be more accountable for more important or more consequential things. Then sure, that's another avenue that we didn't think about.
Yeah, could you tell us a little bit about the courses that you've got there that you run? Because I know I follow. You've got multiple day events where people can come in and do stuff with you guys. I saw you just recently did an urban assault one. Was it called?
Yeah, Havoc, like an urban survival course.
Yeah,
that's our Havoc camp. We run 3 main camps. First one being the Tartar Camp, which is basically our introduction to the culture of Special Forces selection. So we make that camp as hard as we can, and to ensure that the people who do take on the experience, if they are thinking about going for selection, they at least have some sort of understanding of what the culture is like in the first 3 days of the selection course. So it's not such a culture shock, because you get such a high attrition rate in the army or in these courses that it's mainly because this is not what people think. This is not what I bargained for. I didn't think it was going to be like this. Well, if you get habitualised to it because you've been exposed to it over a progressive period, then you get to understand, okay, I've still got room to move here. I've still got the ability to think. I can still get through this because I've done this before, but I've done it, and I've done it multiple times before. So the purpose of the Carter Camp was to give people that headspace to go, okay, this is as real as we can make it. So that you can start to get used to it. And if you do it multiple times, then the more used to it, it just increases your chances of passing. Then we designed a Chaos Camp, which is basically to understand or learn how to do land navigation. That's a big part of selection. And it's also a very difficult part. So we teach people how to navigate across land using a compass and map. And we give you up to 80 k's of track to cover in 24 hours. And some people can actually cover that 80 k's. With a pack on, they just go. Whereas others just want to learn the skills. So that's fine. You can have a sleeping flight. Other guys will just go 24 hours non-stop. And then the last one is that Havoc Camp, which is our urban survival camp. And that's to teach people what the life is like as a Special Forces operator. Give them a brief window into how we operate and how it's like to operate in an environment where it's not necessarily like it is in Australia, where it's very, very safe and very permissive. And to prepare you for potentially working or even travelling or even being required to travel as part of a work task in your everyday job to an environment that's not necessarily permissive.
And imagine in those courses, they've evolved and changed over the years, over the last 8 years when you guys have put it together?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a process of just continuous improvement. Like, we're always getting feedback from all the people who do it. We're always getting feedback from the instructors. And we're always putting that in together and trying to make it 1% better every day.
Yeah, that's incredible. It must be, it must have been a super proud moment when you got your first course through or your first gents through, and then they were the first lot to then go and qualify and then give you a phone call or a text or pop in to the gym there and say, guess what, we passed our selection and we're now through. That must have been a pretty cool experience. Do you remember those kind of moments when you first started?
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's there's so much going on any one day. To hear that you've got guys who are successful in those courses. I mean, there's certain milestones throughout a selection or a reinforcement cycle for the commandos or the SAS or the clearance guys. And it's an 18-month period or thereabouts. So even though they might have passed selection course, you're still hoping that they're going to pass every single milestone throughout that period. So it's a victory, definitely a victory when they pass selection, but the game's not over yet. It's out of our hands as mentors, as coaches. It's up to them, but we certainly hope that they get badged at the end of the day and they end up doing the job to the best of their ability.
And being in the game, I'm just thinking there, like 8 years, you'd almost have candidates that went through your program that would have, lack of a better word, almost finished their career as a SF operator because of going through your course as well.
Yep, and going on operations. Yeah, so very, very lucky, very, very fortunate.
Yep, that's unreal. And do you feel like a real sense of responsibility, like, because you know if you guys do qualify, they are going to then go away and be active and stuff. Do you feel that sort of sense of responsibility? You're there in those early days to give them that little extra bit of help.
Yes and no. It's a big boys. It's big boys and girls. Game at the end of the day. So I mean, we don't assume that we're still responsible for these people because they are standing on their own 2 feet. They are operating off their own gas. So effectively, it's up to them to be stewards of their own career. So that's the way we see it. We obviously celebrate every single milestone they pass, not in a big way. Just being happy for them, but we also know that they are their own people. It's not because of us; it's because of them that they pass.
Yeah. You were just there at the start for them, which is unreal, bro. And you guys run a bit of an online option as well for people who can't get over your way.
Well, it's one of those things. It's very difficult to impose the sort of conditions.
That was going to be my follow-up question. Was like, how do you get what you're doing in person? It's not like what we're doing. We're just writing a program and here's some feedback. Be better on your squats. Like, how do you get that message across if you guys do play with that sort of online space?
Well, the reason why our program is successful is because there's a lot of aspects to it.
Mm.
So we're trying to cover as broadly as we can all the things that could cause friction for them along their path here to get onto selection and pass selection and so forth.
Mm.
And so that is the mindset aspect of it, the mental conditioning aspect of it, as well as the physical conditioning aspect of it, and the resilience development aspect of it. So it's such a holistic approach to getting them to become successful that then when we break that down, we can actually look at different parts of that and break it down. So the mental conditioning and the mental and the mindset part of it, we can do online. So we only just started doing that online this year. Last year. But the other aspects, and we send someone a program, they give us feedback just like you guys would do. They give us a journal, which they send us every 2 weeks, and we track their progress that way. But we can only really be more confident about your ability to pass these courses if you come over and spend some time with us.
Mm.
So if you do our Tartar Camp, you do our Havoc Camp, and our Chaos Camp, we get effectively 3 camps or 6 full days to have a good look at who you are, what you like, how you're going to operate, where your friction points might be. And then if you do our resilience development program, which is the mindset, mental conditioning aspect of it, and we spend some more time with you, then we get more of an understanding of what makes you tick and where you're potentially going to succeed or fail. So it has to be for us to give someone a look, mate, give it a go. We think you've got a good chance. We need to have a real good look at you.
Yeah, 100%. You need to get them in there next to you, see what they're really worth and doing everything.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately just missed it a little bit ago. You did a speaking chat where was recorded live for people to get in and watch only the other couple of months ago, if I'm not resilience or something.
We do a mental resilience presentation every year. Yeah, so we do that for the public every year, but we're fairly regularly running that for corporates.
Yep.
So it's one of the. It's basically the employee induction that we run for our staff.
Yeah, right.
So they give everyone the same sheet of paper in terms of understanding what we're thinking, how we're thinking it, how we get it, how we operate.
Yeah,
it puts everyone on the same sheet of paper for every year, every time they do it, and then especially new staff that come on. So for us, it started out as a staff induction.
Yep.
But now it's a business to itself now.
Yep. How do you find? Do you change it or transition it a little bit to move it into the corporate space, or is it this is the package and this is what it is?
Yeah, no, the package that we run for the public in November is for the public. It's very broad.
Yep.
And then we do work with our clients to have it specific to what they want, what they need. So it can be very different, but in some cases it can be only slightly.
Yep. Did you if you were to look back, like you said, you've been in the gym game for 8 years, 14 years, serving as well. So if you go back, let's say 15 of those years thereabouts, do you think young Nick would be sitting there thinking he'd be sitting on a couch planning and plotting specialty courses for SF operators and corporate speaking and etc.?
No, not at all. When I was in the army, that was me. I actually wanted to be. I said to myself, I'd do 10 years in the army.
Yep.
Ended up doing 12 years. But I was actually going to go back to Queensland. I'm originally from Queensland and become a builder.
Yep.
That was my intent. So for me, training the gym was just a means to do my job better. It actually wasn't. I didn't ever expect to start a gym.
Yep.
But when I was transitioning out of the military, one of my best mates said, "Can you want to chip in some money and we'll start this gym thing?"
Yep.
And so I said, "Okay, I'll chip in some money." And whilst I was planning my transition back to Queensland, I ended up working in it.
And now you're still there.
Yeah. So I mean, it's got so busy, and we had the opportunity to start a security company on side because that's our trade. So that went berserk as well. So amongst everything that was going on, I pretty much had to stay on deck and help out. And so here we are. We're still as busy as ever, and still doing many things. And
you're still doing security stuff on the side. Is that company still rolling as well?
Well, we actually transitioned out of that. We went into mining exploration. So
it's
one of those things. Yeah. So it's one of those things where we thought we spent a lot of time away in the army. You know,
Yep.
90% of our time was away.
Yep.
And when I got out of the army, I got out not to spend that much time away. So when we started the security company, I ended up spending more time away.
You're more time away.
I got out of the army to get into different spending more time away. So we ended up through a couple of members in our gym actually asked us what we were doing. Do you need any help with anything? Because they had sold their businesses. And I said, oh, look, we want to get out of security. Got any suggestions? And they'd been working in the mining game. You work in WA, that's the main effort. That's the main thing here in WA. You thought about exploration? I said, well, no, we haven't. Well, let's give it a go. So they ended up
how much knowledge of exploration and mining did you have at that point in time?
Well, none. But the way they framed it was, do you guys like camping? I said, no, I love camping. Well, that's exploration. That's greenfields exploration. You just go out there and take a geologist out there. We do it in Africa, we'll do it in the Philippines, we'll do it in Myanmar, in Burma, we'll do it in Indonesia. So we ended up doing a little bit of that, and over time I had to travel less and less. And as a director now, I just not sit back, but I'm still involved in the business. But
but send other people to go camping instead of you.
Yeah, and every now and then we'll go camping. Every now and then we'll go out there and see what's going on. But now we only operate, exclusively in WA or in Australia.
Oh wow! Any particular minerals you're chasing down, or you're happy for any of them?
It's always been gold, copper, and nickel.
Oh, gold! There we go. I've got a couple of pans in my storage facility, and an old sluice boss kicking around that I've like to play with every now and then myself.
Yeah, I've done a bit of panning.
Yeah, I like to not tell anyone how much we got and just say it's an investment, and at some point in time it'll pay off.
Yeah,
but we're
very lucky. We've got a team of geos to do that for us, so it's a little bit less of a.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about the prospecting component.
No, not so much.
No, that's good. But you have to be digging. Are you digging the holes and stuff out there, or not
every
so
now
much?
And then I do just to keep in touch with what's going on with the boys and that. It's important to do that as well. You can't just rest on your laurels. I do that. I spend my majority of my time at the moment is still with the gym. I do spend a couple of days a week just because I'm still the director, still helping out with the exploration side.
Yeah, wow. And so when you say you're at the gym, are you actually engaging in coaching courses yourself, or because of where it's at, how busy it is?
Yeah, once again, it's one of those things where you still got to stay in touch with what's going on. So the best way to do that is be on the floor. So it's very important to me that I am on the floor. It's also, we're also in the background planning everything else that's going on with the corporate events and the camps and the other things that are going on within the business in terms of what we're doing for the government or things like that in this space. So we're still working in the background. We're doing a lot. It's very busy in the background, but I still make sure we're doing time on the floor, training for members, taking training sessions, and still keeping my hands in.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And what would be what's a favourite session for you to run, or to put your members through? What do you enjoy to be driving them in?
My favourite session would be running the actual test.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's one of those things that you basically, it's pretty prescriptive as to what you need to do to get through the test, and we've made the test public on our website.
Yep.
And
what is the test? If you could share it with us.
Oh, it's effectively 10 tests in a 1 hour period. It starts with a 2K row, and you've got to do a heavy lift, either a back squat or a deadlift, another heavy lift or a bench press, Turkish get up or an overhead press.
Yep.
And then effectively 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. So the first 2 minutes is push-ups, and med ball ground to shoulder at 40 kilos for guys.
Yep.
Then pull-up test for 2 minutes. Then a kettlebell snatch test for 2 minutes, 24. Then a Tabata squat test, which is a 4-minute test. And then a burpee test for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then a 1.6K 1 mile run to finish off.
Just a little finisher.
Just a little finisher, yeah. So we put the run at the end because most people can run.
How's everyone's legs after all that on that 1.6?
Yeah, varying degrees. But I mean, we had one of our newest member today. She passed today, and she ran a fastest time for females in the 1.6.
Wow. So I was going to ask, do you guys keep a leaderboard of who's achieved what and of who are the top scores that have come through the gym over the years for that test?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So those guys and girls, we have a different type of T-shirt. They get awarded.
Yep. Damn. And then what about for yourself, bro? Health and you said you have to do it every year as well with everyone?
We have to test. Everyone has to test in the first quarter of the year.
Yep.
So I'll be testing in March.
Yeah, no, and all your train coaches getting in there together and doing the same session, or that's too competitive and you need to be separated.
It's one of those things we can't really compete because you're all going to finish the row at different times. So
Yep.
pretty much, if you're pushing as hard as you can, you're in your own little world for an hour.
Yep, a world of hurt.
And that's the way it's designed, really. Just to say you're not relying on any extrinsic motivation to get the best times or best scores possible. It's really up to you and how you navigate this problem. And, and if you can get one more point than you got last year, that's a win.
Yep. Yeah, that's incredible. And it's time capped at 1 hour to finish all of that.
Yeah.
Damn. I think you'd find out who you are at the end of that hour.
Yeah, I mean, we're having that's the pass. So the pass is a level 3, so a score of 30 or more is a pass to train in the gym.
Yep.
But the trainers and instructors must be at a level 4 and above.
Yep.
So that's one of those things where you can push as far as you want. There's only 6 levels anyway.
Yep.
You just push as hard as you want. So you can either choose just to pass.
Yep.
Which no one does. No one.
I was going to say that doesn't sound like the type of person who comes to your gym though.
Yeah, so that's the thing, and that's the sort of person we want. And if they're getting better than they did last year, it's a testament to the programming and also their hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because that'd be obviously one of the measures for you guys to try to improve is that physical performance of each individual that's in your gym. Do you have other milestones or testing things you guys use to measure that for your athletes, for your members of the gym?
At this point in time, that's it. We try to keep it simple. It's that initiation test every year.
Yep.
But the members we have members decide they want to go do different stuff themselves. Like there's a 140k Cape to Cape walk, which is in the southwest of WA.
Yep.
They often get together and do things like that, or the Stirling Ranges or things like that, where they have their own little challenges.
Yep.
Or even it's just to do the Tartar Camp again and do better than they did last year. Or the Chaos Navigation Camp again did better than last year. But a lot of them have got their own careers. So most of them have got their own careers and their own things that they're working and training for.
Yep.
So we play only a small part in their lives, and that's the way we want to keep it because we don't. We're not centered around the gym. As even my job is not centered around the gym. That gym, being able to train every day, is what makes me do better in everything else that we do.
Mm. Yeah, like that. And obviously a little powerlifting background for ourselves. Over here in Brizzy, mate, is there a little bit of squat, bench and deadie come up in those little training programs through the week?
Yeah. Monday squat day, dead's Friday, and bench is on Tuesday. So,
bench on Tuesday, lovely.
Always hitting those 3.
Yeah, nice. And do you guys do you test them very often with the heavy stuff in there, or?
Well, not really. Only on initiation. So they can pick the 2 lifts they do. So you've got to do 2 lower body. Effectively, lower body is loosely termed, but a deadlift or a back squat.
Yep.
And then for upper body, it's the bench press, overhead press, or a Turkish get up.
Yep.
So they can choose any one of those, either one from any one of those categories, and we see their numbers go up because they can't afford not to be strong.
Yeah.
Because they need points to get to where to get higher scores.
Yep.
But they must maintain their strength training in order to, strength underpins everything we do, really, as human beings. So the stronger we are, we take a lot of lessons from the powerlifting world in terms of how can we get the most overhead, how can we get the most on our back, all those sorts of things. So we're always learning, we're always trying to develop this, but we also, our main driver is to be more effective across all domains: run, swim, carry, climb, and fight.
Yep.
So to do that, we must be able to run and lift.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. Do you guys, the concept of this space, I loved it from the moment I saw it because I've never really seen anything like it. Do you guys look externally for sort of, to see what other people are doing, or have you come across anyone running similar sort of programs to like this before?
Well, yes and no. It's a very, if you look at the commercial model, it's very difficult. We're knocking back 90% of applicants to come and train here.
Yep.
So if you look at that, no gym can survive without, taking at least more than 10% of the people who try to get in and who are willing to pay fees.
Yep.
So I find it very hard. I haven't seen anyone doing the same thing that we don't have in
Yep.
terms of knocking back clientele.
Yep.
But we do have people who we would recommend in other states in terms of people who've trained with us
Yep.
who get what we're trying to do over here
Yep.
and are trying to emulate that, but more commercially wherever
Yep.
they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, there are. And we hope that at least we can rub off in some way on anyone else in terms of what we're doing, because we're not competing with anyone, because if you
Yep.
look at why we set this thing up, it's because we want to make the next line of operators better.
Yep.
We're going to compete in that space. It's not really going to make the next line of operators better. We need to share knowledge. We need to combine forces. We need to be able to, okay, maybe we don't suit you. Maybe there's someone else that suits you because you're the more important thing than our pride or our program or our business. Yep. So that's the way we see it. We don't see this as a competitive space. We just see we do our thing, and hopefully that means something to you.
Yeah. Well, so it'd almost be a cool thing if you saw one of your members come and go through your program and do your stuff, and then next thing you know, they're running a similar style gym, some other state, some other place, just stealing, not stealing, but using some of your ideals and taking their own group in their own direction as well.
Yeah, it's the highest form of flattery, as they say.
Yep.
So I'm all over it. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's cool, bro. And then for your own training, mate, we're always interested to know, mate, do you split it up with just with the program that the mill's running, or do you like to mix it up and do things a bit different for yourself?
Yeah, I do a lot of testing of workouts. So basically what we do for our members, we've got to walk the walk. So we've got to be able to, one, meet the standards that we set for our members as well, or exceed the standards, but also ensure that everything we do ask them to do, it's been tested.
Yep.
So we're constantly upgrading our main program, which is our general athletic conditioning program, and we're always testing workouts and sessions. And it's not just me that's doing it, there's a few of us doing it, but at the same time, it's about that continuous improvement.
Yep.
How does this apply to make them the best operators in the world? Well, we're going to do it this way, or we've got to try this first before we prescribe it.
Yep. So you just get to the end of some of those workouts and you go, nah, that wasn't hard enough. We need more of this.
Yeah, could be it won't really meet the intent. So I mean, hard has its purpose and time, but the other thing is that we have to make sure that you leave the gym, you can still rescue someone who's in a car crash.
Yep.
The idea is that you must be ready. And once you leave this place, if we debilitate you in any one way, then we're not making you ready when you leave this place. So you always have that ability to contribute in any situation, whether you've just trained or you're about to train.
Yep.
So we can't afford to hamstring or injure or overwork anyone.
Yeah. Just keep them in a nice simmering amount.
Steady state of adaptation.
Yeah, I like that. What do you see for the next 5 to 10 years for the mill and for yourself, bro? Do you guys have some plans? What's next, or we keep it all secret?
We've always got a 5 or 10 year plan. I think it's one of the things that you'll fail to evolve if you don't have that next horizon. So we're big planners here, and that's how I think that's one of the biggest reasons why we have been successful.
Yep.
And I think for the next year, we're already involved in the contracting space back to defence, so we're going to continue in that space in terms of what we do here, and it's probably expand in that area. And there's a few markets here in WA which have been exposed due to COVID and the ability to get in, but it's also been exposed to the fact that even after the border restrictions are eased over here, it's still quite a potentially lucrative market to get into. I'll keep those under wraps for the time being. As you watch the website, things will change gradually over the next 3 months or so.
Yep.
And then the other thing is just to continue to do what we do now, but try and do it better every day. That's our members are our main focus. That's what's out there, bread and butter. That's what puts food on the table, and that's what's the biggest marketing tool we could ever ask for. So we maintain the efforts in that space, and then we look at other things as they come along, if they come along in the corporate space or even the exploration and mining space. That's still got its own head of steam. So I mean, effectively just watch this space. More of the same, but more.
But more. I like more is one of my favourite things I like to say. Mate, maybe some more camping as well, perhaps.
Yeah, hopefully.
Mate, what I like to do towards the end of these things is the last part of the official part of the unofficial No Plan podcast, and that is I have 10 questions. I guarantee every one of them is random, and then we're going to go on a bit of an adventure. Are you ready for 10 questions with the first thing that pops into your brain?
Go for it.
What'd you have for dinner last night?
Roast.
What kind of roast was it?
Beef.
Lovely. What is in the boot of your car?
I have a toolbox and a recovery kit.
Nice. When was the last time you changed your bed sheets?
Last week.
Lovely. What is your middle name?
Andrew.
What was your favourite year and why?
Oh, jeez. It would be 1998 when I passed my no selection.
Wow. That's pretty cool. What was your first cassette, CD, or record you ever owned?
It was Aha, Hunting High and Low.
Lovely. Last dream you had?
Oh, jeez. I can't remember most of my
I did
dreams.
promise random questions.
That's certainly a random one. Let me think about that one. I actually literally cannot remember the last dream I had.
That's okay. Now, what are you going to do when you retire?
More of this. Continue to surf and shoot and roll and train.
That's when you know you're doing something you love, when it's just you want to just do more of what you've already got.
Absolutely.
Your morning routine?
Wake up at 4, make my bed, tune into the room, go brush my teeth, have a cup of coffee, and then prime for the day.
Then it's game on. What do you think of AI?
It's scary, but also pretty exciting.
I like it.
So both one in the same.
I've seen Terminator 2. That bit's scary.
Yes, very. Who knows? Let's see how this unfolds.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, mate. I appreciate you coming to play, mate. You, like I said, you are top of my list of coming over to Perth and giving that course a crack and getting into that stuff, and dragging my co-host Brando as well, mate. For the people out there in the world who do want to follow you guys, what's the best place? Where are we at? What's your handles on the socials and things?
Instagram, Facebook. We're on atthemillgym.com or atthemillgym.
Yep.
And then I'm at Zines101 on Instagram and on Facebook as well.
And stay close to that Mill Gym website as well to see what's coming the next few months, eh?
Yes, yeah, always something new.
Beautiful. I love it, brother. Mate, thanks for giving up your time on a Friday afternoon for us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and look forward to getting this out soon for you, brother.
Pleasure. Thanks, Jonny. Thanks for the time too.
Thanks, Nick, man. I'll drop you a message in. I think we're about 2 or 3 weeks lead time thereabouts on these at the moment. So when Brando does all the